Hello, I'm Sean Kent Hayashi. In this video, you'll learn how to stop workplace bullying and get others to listen. I'm a business coach, and I help leaders and teams become high-performing together. Let's dive in. In a bullying workplace, fear is an issue. Why do people bully others? According to Dr. Gary Namey, social psychologist and leading expert on workplace bullying, bullies target people they perceive to be a threat. People who are smarter, more skilled, more likable, or perhaps more productive or more attractive. So what's the dominant emotion for a bully? It's unresolved anger and fear. When we are marinating in anger and fear, we may be perceived by others as being a bully. Stop and think about that for a moment. When we're sitting in the emotion of anger, others may be experiencing us as being a bully. Negative gossip, rumors, verbal abuse, and passive-aggressive sarcasm are forms of fear-based bullying. You decided to click on this video because you want the tools to build a bully-proof culture, right? You want others to respect you. You want authentic collaboration, engagement towards creating a better workplace without fear. Have I got that right? Well, here's the first tool for creating anything you want. It's imagination. The first step is imagining what you want to have as the outcomes. Albert Einstein said, imagination is a preview of coming attractions. So I'm going to talk about the solution to workplace bullying and how we can get there. Stick with me here because there are 3 different paths we need to take to fully explain the solution. First, we will explore creating a great team, then developing emotional intelligence, and I'll tie it all together with the 5 tools to minimizing bullying at work. It begins with asking, how can we create more collaborative and innovative teams? Part of the solution is creating a great team. It's putting the stake in the ground organizationally that you want to be on a high-performing team or that you want to lead high-performing teams. So what does an ideal team look like and feel like? Take a minute to consider the best teams you've ever experienced. As you get an image of the group dynamics in your mind, what was special about that group, that team? Let's see if your list matches mine. Great teams are united in their core beliefs and they're committed to a common purpose. They recognize that the complementary skills and experiences of people working together exceed that of any one individual. They value each other for the diverse skills and perspectives they each bring to the organization. And they have fun together. They trust one another. They're confident in each other's abilities to do their job. They know how to handle conflict productively. They help each other acquire new skills for achieving performance goals and growth. And finally, they're made up of individuals who are emotionally literate. Because this is so important, let's dive a little deeper into it. What does it mean to be emotionally literate? It means that you can identify what you're feeling in the moment, and you can make intentional choices about how to respond based on what you're feeling. It means that you don't lash out at others in anger or fear. It also means that you can read the emotions of others and respond in a way that engages them in focusing on co-creating desired results with you. Emotional intelligence can be measured. People with a high emotional intelligence quotient, or EQ, exhibit the following tendencies. They're more resilient and they experience less stress. They feel better about their own quality of life. They adapt better. They complete tasks faster. They become star performers who are willing to influence others. They have fewer career derailers. And bottom line, they tend to earn more. People who are emotionally intelligent understand how to use their own emotions to perform at their best. They know intuitively what research has confirmed: the best creative thinking, the best problem solving, hey, even the best golf swing, all performances. The best, they happen when we're at the top of the emotions ladder. What's at the top of the emotions ladder? Love, joy, hope, excitement, passion. Individuals or teams stuck in the bottom range of the emotions ladder, envy, sadness, anger, or fear, will have an uphill battle in producing results. If you have bullies in your organization, they're not just driving down morale, they're also driving down engagement and productivity. And they're likely increasing people checking out on the job or even causing high turnover. It's costly to have a bully on board. I know this from my own personal experience. I wrote about my experience in an article for Forbes. At one point in my career, I worked for an organization where my boss, the CEO, created intense competition among the leadership team. At one point, he even asked me to hire 2 people to do the exact same job and not tell them about each other. His intention was to decide which one was best and then to fire the other one within 6 months. Did this tactic work? Hardly. Instead, it created a culture of backstabbing, infighting, resource hoarding. No one on the leadership team trusted each other. I watched talented people walk out the door, and then I did too. My moment came after my boss wanted me to shut down a group of women who had complained about an executive's very bad drunken behavior at a company gathering. He was a top producer. What my boss wanted me to do was a lawsuit waiting to happen, and I told him so. I finally said, I don't want to work for someone like this. In fact, I realized I wanted to actively create the tools, the training, the coaching that prevent people from growing up thinking this type of behavior is okay. If someone had taught this guy earlier in his career how to manage and lead collaboratively instead of autocratically bullying people before he had the power to squash others, he would not be causing anguish in the workplace and needlessly putting the company at risk. To minimize bullying at work, these 5 tools will help you solve the problem. First, establish norms for dealing with conflict. Share these norms with everyone and post them in meeting rooms. Role model dealing with conflict in healthy ways. Then teach people how to deal productively with conflict by doing step number 2. It's facilitating great communication skills like deep listening and responding openly to questions to resolve conflict. Don't aim to eliminate conflict. You don't want to eliminate conflict because conflict is what sparks innovation. And it's the creativity to solve complex problems that creates future products and future wealth. When conflict does surface, you want to equip people to handle it. Strong conflict management skills are required in highly innovative and collaborative organizations. Team meetings focused on creating solutions. Create an our issues list and use it weekly to begin to solve the issues that people are facing. Make it okay for people to talk about these things with the intention to resolve them. And third, when I coach leaders and teams, our focus is on creating a culture of collaboration, not competition. Research indicates that competitive environments are a breeding ground for bullying. And by the way, competitive environments tend to crop up in industries where there's major disruption, bleak prospects, or no job security. Number 4, show people how to play to each other's strengths and help to cover each other's blind spots. If you want support in doing this, our high-performing team retreat experience brings this alive so you can see each person's strengths very clearly. And 5, because it's a fundamental skill, develop emotional intelligence in everyone on your team. The truth is, everyone can raise their emotional intelligence. It just takes focused attention. We've got to know what to focus on. Emotional intelligence is understanding the 7 core emotions and the 5 emotional intelligence skills. Let's just take this deeper right now. The 7 chemically identifiable emotional states in the human body are love, joy, hope. Now, we might use lots of different words to describe those. Passion, excitement, walking on sunshine, any of that is just fine. The key is that those are the emotions where we're feeling really, really good. Now, sadness, envy, anger, and fear. In one of my client organizations, there was a long-standing issue between 2 people who had the same role. They both believed that they were being bullied by the other. One yelled and made snarky, snide comments directly at the other, while the other one gossiped harshly and complained to peers about the other. Both were contributing to an unproductive work culture. But they were so focused on the problem that the other person was causing that they didn't see how their own behaviors were contributing to the problem. The solution was creating conflict resolution norms and managing an issues to solutions list in weekly team meetings so that those things could be resolved, and creating a 3-strike rule. 3 times of nonconformance, and it's time for a person to leave the organization. Let's imagine that we can teach a budding bully to recognize that fear is what is causing or driving their behavior, and show them that they can make better choices about how to act. We can teach them how to process themselves through their anger or fear so that they can overcome obstacles. We can help them imagine and then actively pursue solutions. For example, learning how to facilitate conversations for conflict resolution and then perhaps new skill development. The other side of the issue is, why don't people speak up about the behavior that makes them uncomfortable or share their breakthrough ideas that would result in innovation? Why do they allow other people's resistance or power to stop them? Again, fear is the issue here. They're afraid that they'll be labeled a troublemaker, not believed, or that they'll be forced out of the organization by someone who's more powerful than they are. Fear is what happens when people don't trust the culture, the leaders, or their fellow team members. This is why raising the emotional intelligence of all team members and organizations is vital. When we start saying, "I can't handle this," we're triggering fear in ourselves. In cultures lacking in communication skills and emotional intelligence, conflict escalates. Fear spreads and creates paralysis and dysfunction across the organization. Someone complains about egregious behavior, but maybe the aggressor is a valuable moneymaker or a member of the leadership team. Solving the problem isn't easy because no one wants to put their head in the lion's mouth. Many of us feel fear when we don't know what to do. And once we're swirling in fear, it makes it harder to think clearly. This is one of the times when people call me. If someone needs to tell a high-performing star that they're bullying others and that they're a part of the problem, they often want an outsider to do it. I use assessments, feedback, coaching, 360 tools as a way to help convey the message so that it can be heard. I'm not the only one who sees intentionally creating a strong work culture as a solution for bullying. Johnny Taylor, the president and CEO of SHRM, the Society for Human Resources Management, told a group of California legislators in January of 2018, "Culture always trumps compliance. Relying solely on rules and education to address harassment doesn't work." So what does? It's a strong, healthy, team-based culture. It's establishing norms for interacting that continually exude a message of, we don't do that here. By showing your team members what is the behavior that you want to see and what's the behavior that doesn't work here, you'll be able to help people to say, not here. We don't do that here. So how do you create that kind of culture? Develop the 5 competencies of emotional intelligence. The 5 skills of emotional intelligence are self-awareness, knowing what you're feeling in the moment. It's also knowing what your own behavioral tendencies are and recognizing that there can be a gap between how you perceive yourself and how other people see you. Self-regulation is a skill that enables you to use your emotions to inform your actions instead of acting out your emotions. Self-awareness is the ability to recognize what you're feeling in the moment, while self-regulation is the ability to make choices about how to use your emotions. After a disagreement with your teenager in the morning, and then dealing with huge traffic delays on the way to work, such that you arrive very late for an important meeting, you may be marinating in stress hormone. It's called cortisol. It can trigger anger, fear. Without awareness and self-regulation skills, once this is triggered, we're likely to perhaps bite someone's head off with a snarky comment. With awareness and self-regulation, however, we can take a couple of deep breaths. We can refrain from saying things to a colleague that we'll regret later or that might damage the relationship. The next competency in emotional intelligence is motivation. When we have a high level of motivation, we know how to say yes to the things that makes us feel most alive. And we can choose projects and assignments that really deeply engage us. Motivation involves understanding what your natural passions are, what gets you excited and causes you to get out of bed in the morning saying, yes, I want to tackle this day. It's also about recognizing what motivates other people. Empathy, or social awareness, is the ability to understand the emotional makeup of other people and how your own words and actions will affect others. People who have empathy can imagine and check out what other people are feeling in the moment without getting in the sandbox with them. For example, I might notice that Sally seems very frustrated or annoyed by something. Using empathy, I could check out my observation by saying something like, Sally, I sense perhaps you're feeling frustrated or angry right now. Would you like to talk that out? Now Sally can decide if she wants to talk with me about it or if she wants to do something else with her feelings. Giving her the opportunity to unpack and deal with her feelings is positive empathy. It's not getting in the sandbox and reinforcing her being stuck in an emotion. You see, letting people vent and leaving them there, that doesn't work. If you have developed self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, and motivation, there's a good chance you also have very strong social skills. People with superior social skills manage relationships effectively. They're more than just friendly. They can authentically persuade, build rapport, manage conflict, and develop strategic alliances. They can set goals and move a team forward to reach those goals. Social regulation skills are the ability to influence the emotional clarity of others. It's being great at managing relationships and building networks. Those are the basic competencies in emotional intelligence. But how do you go from knowing what it is to cultivating it in your organization? Well, make a public commitment from the top down to creating a positive work culture. Employers control the work environment, so they're ultimately responsible for making sure that people aren't harassed or abused on their watch. Put a stake in the ground to develop high-performing teams, the kind of teams that know exactly what the norms are and who are willing to say, that doesn't fit in here. Another tool for your toolkit are workshops and learning experiences that create a common language. I lead several workshops on emotional intelligence and people reading. On September 12th, I have a seminar workshop on emotional intelligence. If you have an interest in participating, reach out to me. My book, How to Improve Your Emotional Intelligence at Work and in Relationships, outlines how to increase your emotional intelligence and provides the specific questions to ask yourself when you find yourself experiencing emotions like fear, anger, sadness, envy, the kind that get us stuck. I also have more videos on this topic, which you'll find linked below. If you want to take this deeper and find out where you are in each of the 5 competencies of emotional intelligence, you can also complete an individual assessment for yourself and for your team. Emotional intelligence can be raised with focused effort. Again, the key is to know what to focus on, and these tools help you to do that. If the person who is perceived to be the bully is someone on the leadership team, the owner of the business, or someone who's not changing their behavior despite your best efforts, you don't have to get stuck in that or do it by yourself. You can use outside resources and tools to help raise awareness. As an executive coach, I often work with individuals and teams over a 6-month period to dramatically increase their emotional intelligence, their ability to collaborate and work very well together, their ability to create great results. This creates a positive ripple effect for teams and organizations. We call these high-performing team retreats, and we have a follow-up process. I would also encourage you to practice thinking about how you would handle scenarios, and perhaps some like this. First one, a VP leader in your organization has charged you with helping to develop diplomacy skills in one of the directors who reports to her. Now, what would you think about if you heard that? Could diplomacy skills be code for someone's being a bully? How would you go about checking that out? Think this through for yourself. If you want to be a really great, inspiring leader or manager, these are the kinds of things you need to anticipate. The second one, you have a newly merged team. And recently, members of the former culture are starting to collide with members of the new culture. You've noticed some people are behaving fearfully of the others. And you've even heard a couple of people say things like, I'm starting to be bullied here and I don't like it. They're using this refrain to avoid engaging in healthy conflict management. What would you do? Again, as an inspiring leader, you are likely going to be placed in situations along the way where you'll need to resolve these kinds of issues. How about another one? A manager just asked you, how do I correct a bully's behavior when it's being directed at me? In that situation, you want to use these tools that we've just been talking about. I want to circle back to an important tool for combating bullying in the workplace. I mentioned imagination when we started. Take a deep breath with me right now. Then close your eyes And imagine yourself as someone who has been empowered with the awareness and the tools for growing your organization, for being the kind of person who can resolve conflict. See yourself as part of a team with a common purpose to create more collaborative and innovative cultures in the workplace. Imagine people where their lives are better because of the place that they work in. Your mission isn't easy, and there will be challenges and setbacks, but you're not alone. You can ask for help from others who are in this with you. You can make a choice to create a great place to work by applying these ideas and creating clear cultural norms at work and with your team. If you would like guidance, direction, and accountability in doing this or in learning new skills for yourself or your whole team, I'd be delighted to talk with you. Please let me know what additional videos you'd like to see in the comments below. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Other videos that will help with this are also linked below. Thank you for watching. To learn more about the Professional Development Group, check out our website at theprofessionaldevelopmentgroup.com. Thanks for joining me today. See you in the next one.